How she goes.
Oh, she goes. I came to the realization that I don't do like a welcome intro anymore, like I used to do, like 90
This
some
is
episodes of. People
well,
know where we are, who we
yeah,
are, I guess.
I would say we're getting close to 100, so maybe we reset the dial. Sorry, I'm trying to fix my broken headphones here. There we go.
Yeah, mine are
That's
charged,
that.
so I'm wired in and double wired in.
So,
The
good holiday?
wireless has to charge. Like, come on. What is this? It's 2022.
I know. I want it ready right
No,
now.
it's 2023.
It is. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
I got my
Our
haircut.
holidays were short, busy, but good. You?
Long, busy, and sadly coming to an end as of Monday. Yeah, but it was a good one. Yeah, I had lots of family come in from out of town, New Brunswick, Calgary, lots of shoveling. No skating on my rink, but we did a lot of other things throughout the 2 weeks.
Now, I noticed your pronunciation of Calgary. Do you take offense to people saying Calgary?
No. That's how I say it's Calgary. My brother, who's actually from Calgary, was like, "No, it's supposed to be Calgary." I'm like, I don't know. It's Calgary.
I think you have to be one from the locale to decide once and for all what's the pronunciation.
No, technically I'm not from there, but I have lived there a few times in my life, and I've gone out.
So you still should know.
I'm an honorary Albertanite, Calgarian, yeah. So
there's that.
There is that, yeah. Big hockey game last night. Did you see? Did you watch?
How long did I watch? I think I saw like 2.5 minutes of it.
Cory.
The kids like watching Lego Masters.
Okay.
So it was, let's watch the hockey game, and then, well, like it started, so there's still 2 more periods, and then like, let's watch Lego Masters instead. Yeah. So Lego Masters is what we watched.
We actually just finished an episode of Lego Masters tonight. We're a few behind, and the episode that just finished was the 2 brothers were eliminated. So now there's the final 3, which I think the next episode is the finale. So it's the 2 Canadian teams and then the sister-brother combo, which I know who wins. I had it spoiled for me because I follow one of them on Instagram, on the Insta, and it's spoiled.
The Insta. Yeah, we watched that one, and now we're back cataloging it, watching season 1.
Because it's the 3rd season, isn't it?
Yeah.
Man, how funny is Will Arnett?
Will Arnett is great. I think he is well suited for the Lego Master hosting.
He's a delight to watch. He's funny, charming. Both.
And Canadian.
There you go.
So there you go.
They're
3 for 3.
There's also a Lego Masters Australia that I saw on the guide.
Aussies.
Yeah. So I'm not sure if what they're building, maybe like kangaroos or dingoes.
Some billabongs and all that stuff.
Wow.
Didgeridoo Lego.
Didgeridoo, yeah. So we haven't watched that one
stereotypes. All about the stereotypes.
It's true though, isn't it? I mean, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, they are known, and then like having thousands upon thousands of species that could kill you in an instant.
100%. But you go to New Zealand and they don't, coincidentally enough, and they're neighbors.
Weird.
Yeah.
I guess Australia's like the crapshoot of the planet. It's just we'll see whatever can kill you, right? Whatever kills you.
I was very fortunate to go to both Australia and New Zealand back in 2008. My father took all of the siblings, grandkids, there's 14 of us, on a 2-week cruise to New Zealand, and then we spent a week in Melbourne. And the biggest takeaway that I took for that, New Zealanders, Kiwis as they're called, very much like Canadians, very welcoming, very open, very honest, very friendly, beautiful landscape, like greeneries. It's just a very beautiful country, very clean. Skip over the Tasman Sea to Melbourne, Australia, and it's like the US, very fast, very, very, me first, and not that friendly, and go, wasn't as laid back, and that was the biggest takeaway I took from both places. Was you had one that was very Canadiana, and another that was very Americana. So, but I will say, if you ever have the
am I as mistaken as you? The cardinal sin is mistaking a Kiwi for an Aussie.
Yeah, much like it would be a Canadian for an American, right?
It's like, how dare you, sir?
How dare you? Yeah, so they don't have any predatory animals like the scorpions and rattlesnakes, I believe, that Australia does. Yeah. And they protect their kangaroos, I want to say, or is it kangaroos? There's an animal where the Kiwis preserve them, and then if you skip over to Australia, they actually encourage you to get rid of them because of the population. I can't remember which one it is. It's definitely not a kangaroo.
Is that a wallaby?
I'll have to get back to you. The
kangaroo family.
Tune in next episode. I'll have that answer for you.
Oh, where's my pen? Jot that down.
Call back.
Almost need a producer or a statistician or something like that. It's like that's working on that stuff in the behind the scenes that hops on later on in the program with the answer.
Yeah, the corrections and what do we make a mistake?
What we got wrong?
About? Yeah, exactly.
So speaking of not a fence or stereotype, so picked up dinner tonight, and I don't know. I'm not one who when I was younger, in school, I was the class clown. I was more popular. I like being noticed and stuff. But as I got older, that kind of went away. We go to the same takeout place, and now literally today it was the first time I walked in, and they were already punching it up. Saw me, and they're like, "You're good to go."
What type of food is
it? Based on your just fast food, based on your expression, which would be the best thing in the world. But I don't care for that. I don't like people knowing stuff about me, knowing that he's here, get the same thing he gets every time. I always play more aloof, right? That's I'm picking it up for somebody else. I'm not eating this.
That's right. Oh, you know what you do? You just walk in and pretend that you're like an Uber driver, right?
That's kind of what I've been doing now.
Yeah, just hi. I'm
picking up the order. Yeah. I always say, they're picky eaters, or they like this. They like the same thing. It's never me.
Yeah. Can you double wrap? Can you double bag it just so that it doesn't get cold on the way to the delivery? Thank you very much.
Soak up the grease while you're at it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't know where that switch happened, but it is something, that bothers.
Well, and you know what? Now it's going to be in your mind that every time it may not even be happening, but you're
so
focused on it that you think that it is happening.
We got to start going someplace else. Just the same thing. If I have to return something with the receipt, I'd rather go to one of the locations where I don't normally go, in case I have to cause a scene or something like that, so they don't remember me.
So they call out someone's name like Cory, and you're like, no.
Yeah,
sure,
she's a good
Cory, not Cory. Oh yeah, that's right. My bad.
I gotta stop shopping at the same places.
Just a little diversity.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Well, you throw a stone, you'll hit a Shoppers. You throw a stone, you hit a Walmart.
This is
true. There's one down the street from you. It's convenience more than anything.
Yeah, it really is.
So Canada game yesterday. World Juniors.
Unbelievable. How much of the tournament did you watch? I know you're working, it's your busy time of the year. How much did you get to watch?
None %.
Wow.
And I'll tell you why.
Okay.
And this is not a whatever hockey, boring. It's one of those, it's the tournament, right, that we should win, always win, whatever. And to me, it doesn't, unless it's the Olympics where there's a gap. To me, that's when I'd watch. If it's every year, the expectation is you're going to win it. The expectation is, the same. And it's also not even just that. It's the same couple teams, right? Every year, the Swedes, the Finns, the Canadians, and the Americans. Those are the ones you're going to. So
when you say gap, do you mean the 4 years in between the Olympics? Okay.
And the rosters are different. Most of these kids played either last year, or they played the year before, or they're in the under 16 that happens in the summer, and then now they're 17, so now they're going to be in this one in the wintertime. To me, that's just, it's not that it's overkill. It's just okay, maybe if they lost a couple of years in a row, make it a little more interesting.
I can't I can't argue with anything that you just said because it's actual, like it's truth. It's the truth. There's a handful of teams out of the 10 that have a legitimate shot at making it, so it can make it a bit boring. It is every year.
And this is where the disagreement comes.
No, I would just say, because I'm right there with you. Like it can be very hard to get into it, and it was for me for a while. And I'd say the last maybe 3 or 4 years, I've gotten back into it, back into being excited about it. And I think the reason why is now I'm starting to focus on the players, not so much the country, but the players. So, perfect example was this year, Connor Bedard. Don't know all that much about him because he plays, I believe, for the Regina Pets in the WHL. So you don't get to see all that much of him if you followed the CHL religiously. So it's a good opportunity to put him in the best tournament within his age group and see how he responds to it, either successfully or not. Fortunate for Canada and fortunate for him, I'm sure. He had a very, very successful tournament, breaking records and whatnot. So I think it's a more of an opportunity to check in on the future greats potentially, or the future up and comers for the NHL. For the Senators or for the Oilers, if there's any draft picks that they recently had that are playing on certain teams, you could follow them. Because if you don't do that, then you're right. It's like it's either going to be the U.S., it's either going to be Canada, it's either going to be Sweden, it's either going to be Finland. And an off chance that it might be the Czechs, which this year they played possessed. They played so well right from game number 1 against Canada. And I think the second thing would be just the mistakes that can happen. Like you at times can tell very easily that they're under 20. And so sometimes those mistakes will cost games. Sometimes those mistakes will even cost the tournament, depending on the game that it is. So try and keep it, try and focus on that. But I really enjoyed it. Vishal.
Vishal, you two the same feel as we do?
I absolutely feel the same way. I used to be very excited about the World Juniors. It was a Boxing Day, had to watch it.
Yeah, that was like the only thing you did aside from returning the gift you didn't want.
Yeah, but I found that was more when, so like as McCoy was saying, just I don't know any of the players anymore, right? So I had heard of Bedard because everyone was like, "This kid's the next whoever," but early 2000s when like the Crosbys and Ovechkins and all those guys were playing, and I heard about them for years and years beforehand, I was like, all right, I'm very interested in seeing like how they do. And now I'm like, I don't know who these players are, and so I'm just less interested. But that being said, it was still fun. If I was out anywhere and the game was on, like I was gonna watch it. I wasn't really going out of my way to watch it when I was at home. But if I was out and there was like a lot of people around, it was definitely fun to watch it with a group. Even though I knew, 2 names and 0 numbers on the ice, like that was the hardest part. I was like, yeah, I know some of these names and I've heard the names before, but I don't know who's who until they go in for a close up or they like mention, oh, by the way, Bedard just scored. I'm like, cool. Number 16. Yeah. That's he's the only one that I like actually remembered. So,
you're scoring all the goals.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's good for him.
It's also interesting to to see who you remember years down the line for if they do make it to the NHL. Like, and there's one name that sticks out, and I don't know why, but Jake Virtanen played for Team Canada at the juniors. I want to say maybe 6 or 7 years ago, and was a pretty dominant player on that team at that time. Got drafted to Vancouver, I think it was, and he's now out of the league because he's had off ice issues. So it's interesting to be like, oh yeah, we were cheering so much for this guy when he was on Team Canada and he had such a successful run representing the country, and then as soon as he transitioned over to the NHL, it was like, stay away from that guy.
Was he a high draft pick after that, like because of his
for sure? I want to say
his performance. Yeah,
I want to say he was definitely first round, top 15 to the internets. I will confirm, but I feel like it was that.
Yeah, it's always interesting to see when, or like how some of these young guys transition to like not that the NHL is like the man's game, but there's it's got to be significantly faster and tougher to play. And if they're more of a like finesse player, it's always interesting to see how they fare against, I guess there's not that many like bruisers anymore, but
still bigger. They're bigger.
Obviously,
men,
people
right?
are, they're bigger. They've been training and working out with professional trainers and all that stuff for like years now. And, speed only gets you a little of the ways there. Although I say that, and then Connor McDavid just skates through everyone. So it's like you get those rare rare gems that it doesn't matter how hard you can hit if you can't catch him.
6th overall in 2014 to Vancouver.
6th overall, yeah.
Yeah.
And then how long was he actually in the league?
Maybe 4 years.
Yeah, eh? And
maybe
then just
4
injuries, I guess?
No off-ice issues. I think he
okay.
was not charged, or allegedly there was some sexual assault that had taken place, domestic violence or what have you, something along those lines.
Just a waste of talent,
and,
right there.
Just a waste of talent, exactly. But hockey's much like baseball too, where you almost need to, when you draft the players, keep them in the farm system for a number of years, just to give them the ability to build up their strength and the experience to play against bigger bodies. And obviously hockey being a contact sport, baseball is not so much, but baseball is more about power and agility and response time and whatnot. And you may not be fully developed to be at that position right away. You obviously have those rare cases where, like the Connor McDavids for hockey and the Bryce Harpers for baseball, where those are the exceptions. But for the most part, send them down, keep them down there for a few years, and develop them from within. So,
and like, isn't that what Detroit did for the longest time? Like, they were always always at the top of the league, never getting good or top draft picks or anything, but they had such a good farm system, and like they picked smart and then developed them before they got to Detroit, so that by the time they were there, they were like actually ready to play, not just all right, we drafted this guy 3rd overall and we got to give him a rookie contract, and what's the deal? They have to play a certain amount. If they play a certain amount of games,
if you play so many games, that eats your first year.
So then
I think it's 10.
They didn't have to really do that with some of their younger guys, and then that's why they were able to be so good for so long without getting top 10 picks.
Scouting is what it comes down to. I mean, you think of Detroit, perfect example: Fedorov, Yzerman, Igor Larionov.
They always had some of the best players in the league without having the top picks.
Mm-hmm. But they knew where to find that diamond in the rough.
Yeah.
So
Russia.
Yeah, exactly.
That's where you go, where the blood doping happens.
Yeah.
What was that documentary? It started off as a documentary about him trying to compete for the Tour de France, and then it just spiraled into a doping scandal within Russia.
A buddy of mine was telling me about that too, and basically said that if you're from Russia, no matter what level of sport you're playing, you're doing some sort of doping, or you're on
isn't that why they don't have an official Olympic team now, because of that?
Yeah, like that's what people are saying. Like they're probably all on something that's performance enhancing, but not detectable in any of the drug tests or something like that. That people are saying that's why Ovechkin's still tearing it up.
Oh yeah,
he's got to be on something to be at that age and still compete at that kind of level.
Yeah,
I don't know. Yager did that. That's
true. That's a good argument. So what is it with the Olympics then? Like if they're Russian, they're playing for
the IOC.
Is it IOC? Is it
no,
IOC?
Not IOC. That's the actual International Olympic Committee. Isn't it the Republic?
Yeah, something like that.
It's like the Russian Olympic team, ROC.
Russian Olympic team,
but it's not like the official. It's not Team Russia.
Yeah, you can't win for Russia, but you're a Russian athlete. You can win.
Yeah,
which is the same.
Gotcha.
It's exactly.
Yeah, I mean, what is this? 6 to 1, half a dozen the other.
Yep,
it makes no sense. No sense. Icarus is the documentary's name.
Oh yeah,
really good. If you haven't seen it,
I've heard of that.
it's very good. So Makes you wonder though, Ovechkin, if I'm starting to think that he's going to break the record.
So do
Every
I.
time,
Just
like,
for goals?
For goals,
Yeah.
I mean, points
Yeah.
are.
I mean, you can't do points. Yeah, that's
unattainable,
just silly.
but he's 37, and I want to say he's probably got about high 80s left, 88 or 89 goals that he needs still. And so you figure if he plays till he's 40, that's on
Yeah, I mean, he
average
doesn't
30.
have to do 40 or 50 goal seasons anymore. Like he could
No.
just get a few 30 goal seasons, you know, like even if he goes like 40, 35, 30 for the next 3 years.
Yeah, especially if they are go ahead and add more games to the schedule, which they're talking about adding 2 more games.
Oh, really?
Makes it more attainable too.
Would that be a hindrance though? If he's like now he's playing more games? I guess it's only 2 games. He probably sits out 2
Each
games
season.
every 6 games
So
in total.
there you go.
Plus if they have long playoff runs.
Yeah, that's what kills you.
Which they really haven't. I mean, they won the cup a few years back, but other than that, they maybe made
When did they win? It was like 2015 or something.
It
was like recent, but not that recent.
2013?
13? 10 years ago?
No. Couldn't have been.
The year was 1842.
John Smith, 1842.
But yeah, it's here. Coming around the right side of the ice. Ovechkin. Yeah.
He's actually, I don't know, now that you guys say it, like I am a little
2018.
18. Oh, that's like sooner than
yeah.
But also later.
Because like I always thought that between Crosby and Ovechkin, that Crosby would be the one that was the longevity guy, right? Because the first like 10 years of Ovechkin, he was just throwing his body around, going 100%, every shift, no matter what. And Crosby was, keeping up pace in terms of points, but like going a bit slowly, doing it more finesse. And I was like, there's no way this guy can maintain like that level of intensity for so long, right? Like he's going to get injured. He's going to get...
It will catch up to him.
Yeah, like, age will catch up to him for sure. And then now it's like he looks like he's playing almost the same way. And I don't know. I don't hear as much about Crosby anymore, I guess.
And Crosby had some significant injuries.
He had injuries, yeah, exactly. And that's the weird thing is like he played so, I don't want to say passively, but just not really as aggressive as other players. And I mean, he still got injured. Obviously, that's going to happen. And with playing, when did they come into the league? They came in
2005.
2005.
And then 2000, I think Ovechkin was drafted the year before.
Yeah, but that was the strike, I think.
Yeah.
That's why Pittsburgh won the lottery or whatever for Crosby.
Save their franchise.
Yeah, no kidding. But 2005. So they're in like year 18, which I don't know. Like I can't remember other than Yager and stuff. Like, there's not a lot of year 18 hockey players that are still kind of at the top, right? There's like, I can't think of any who played for that long and were still top dogs.
I'm thinking maybe Yzerman, maybe.
Yeah.
Where he was somewhat productive, but then once he went downhill, it was a steep slope.
Steep decline, yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm sure Yager was great in year 18. Gretzky was probably great at year 18, but
teams just need to understand how to stop Ovechkin in the slot, because it seems that's where his sweet spot is. And it's like, why have they not figured this out yet?
It's been long enough.
It's been 20 years.
Yeah, where he's going to score
in the same spot.
Yeah, he's got 805 goals. About 700 of them are from there. There's a good chance.
And it's not like he's really skating into that spot. Like he's parked there.
Yeah, he's waiting.
Just patiently waiting.
Yeah. They're like, he doesn't have the puck yet. We don't have to worry about him.
That's right. Oh, and now it's behind
Yeah,
behind you in the net.
Probably looking at his shot accuracy. Well, he's got like the most shots in like league history, and he hasn't only hit 800 of them, of, 12,000. So I think odds are he's gonna miss.
Yeah,
until he doesn't.
That's
until
right.
he doesn't. Yeah.
Oh, Fulton Reed action. 1 out of 3.
1 of 4.
1 out of 4.
We just watched that movie actually last weekend.
Oh, really?
And the last time I'd seen it was when when I was
Came
younger.
out?
So I think it came out in 1992 or something like that. Maybe even earlier. I'm not sure, but
think
yeah,
that's maybe-
I think so, because I think
Yeah.
the team itself came into existence in 93 or 94.
Yeah.
So the movie would have been first.
First, yeah.
I looked over at Jade, and Jade's like, "What am I watching?" Boys are into it, but Jade's like, "Yeah, no, it's not really."
It's like the greatest piece of cinema since Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
and I just like Emilio Estevez must have had a contract. Emilio, you must have had a contract with Disney, because you would think if you were going to cast someone as a prodigal player, is that the word I'm looking
His
for?
son
Son
returned.
Richard.
Prodigal son. You think that they would cast someone appropriately? Like, I did not buy for
Not
1
this
second
little Emilio, eh?
Yeah.
He's small and
I mean, maybe they're riding high on the Theron Fleury wave, but not that
Maybe.
time. But
Yeah.
I mean, who knows, right?
I mean, he was big at the time, right? They had to get a
Young
big
Guns.
name.
Oh, yeah.
He had Young Guns under his belt. He had
it's before Repo Man.
before, but he was part of the Brat Pack too, St. Elmo's Fire, and
Yeah.
all those movies. And
I think they're just riding on the popularity there.
100%.
But like,
Still.
let's see, who else were they gonna get at the time?
Youngblood, Rob Lowe.
Yeah,
Screw it.
Rob Lowe.
Bring it in.
That's true.
He has hockey experience. He played a player. So
I don't know. His he seemed believable on the ice with the bum knee.
Hans, is that you? Hans, is that you? And then I'm pretty sure his old coach, his
Riley.
nemesis in the movie,
Coach Riley.
was Coach Riley. That's right. He was on UHF. Remember the movie UHF with Weird Al Yankovic?
Yeah.
He was I think he was the exec, the old exec. Anyway, so we probably won't be watching that.
We talked
movie
about it
again.
on the Ducks cast. 2 years ago now? I don't remember how long ago Vishal and I did it, but yeah, the one thing about that movie that has not changed is the level of coaching intensity and like how parents are now. Like
Mhm.
to literally put the entire game and loss on that kid's shoulders.
Yeah.
Is like beyond ridiculous. And that was 92.
And they're still doing it.
And they're
Yeah,
still
100%.
doing it.
And like
100%.
almost
You don't
worse.
just if you miss the shot, you don't just let me down. Let the whole team down too.
let the whole
No,
country
you-
down.
Yeah, pretty much.
Especially when the shot doesn't even make them lose. They just go into overtime.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Why?
If you don't win it now, you basically have lost the game.
Yeah.
That's right. Honestly, that's what I thought too. And it's like,
And, like,
well,
they couldn't
where's the
have even
goalie on
done
that
it.
one?
They couldn't have done it the other way either, because like if they were down a goal and then they, he gets put in to score, and it's like, okay, if you don't score, we lose. But if you do score, well, we still have to play more and like potentially still lose.
Yeah, they should have had him on a breakaway. Gets stripped, goes down the other way, scores with 2 seconds left.
Yeah, something like
You know,
that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Or he-
rewrite.
or he,
Yeah,
like,
just
whiffs-
rewrite. You know what?
Yeah, whiffs on it, right? He's got a clear shot at empty net, misses, and then they go back and tie it or something.
Yeah.
You could have
Totally
put the
gonna
game
rewrite
away.
that. Could have put it away.
We'll make
Could've put
a
it away.
Mighty Ducks 1.5
That's right.
deleted
Right.
scenes.
That's it. How the game's supposed to be played.
Yeah.
Now, you showing the boys this before Game Changer series, or have they seen any of that on Disney Plus?
The what?
The Mighty Ducks Game Changers,
God,
the
it's so
series on
terrible.
Disney Plus.
Oh, is that like the TV show, like the
Yeah.
TV series? No, I haven't even. I no. Is
It's-
it not?
It's
Is it bad?
so
Parker likes
bad,
it.
but it's
Parker
like,
likes it.
I couldn't stop watching.
Look away.
Like I finished it all, but I'm like, this is terrible. The entire time I'm watching this, I'm like, this is the worst. But I just watched it.
This include the second season?
Yeah, which
It-
is
Haven't
like
got that far yet.
worse. At least
got
the first
renewed.
one felt like they
Isn't
could have.
everything in streaming mostly
Yeah,
get rated?
the first one felt like it. All the other like Marvel shows that they took a movie and stretched it out a little bit and
Yeah.
turned it into 6 episodes or 8 episodes or whatever.
Drives me nuts.
The first movie felt that way, and it just felt
Mhm.
like a rehash of Mighty Ducks 1. Just ragtag group of people, random coach. Nobody knows how to play hockey apparently, but somehow
I will say this though. Two things. One, how they advocated theft of their equipment.
Yeah. Like
a parent advocated just grand larceny.
Get anything in the lost and found, just take it.
Doesn't matter. It's not going to get claimed. It's all the rich kids.
Yeah.
And how that goalie just never moved once, and in some games they were still in it.
Yeah. Although I feel bad for all the goalies in all the movies and the shows, because
this is true.
They just show them getting the
Peppered.
worst goals scored on them. Just they look like they just are flopping around in the crease, and then they're just like, oh, come on, guys, like we got to stop them. First of all, you got to do something instead of like biting at every single fake happening.
With those movies and TV show that they don't hire anyone with sports cinematic experience.
Yeah,
because everybody's well out of position, so you can see the puck go in.
Yeah.
So like there was no chance the goalie ever would have stopped it at any point. Kind of did jump too late, or they're on the ground too soon.
Yeah, I think the only time like we saw Julie the cat make that glove save in Mighty Ducks 2.
Mm-hmm. But even that, you don't like the shot goes off and then you just see a stance.
Yeah,
you don't see anything else. It's not shot well again.
No, but other than that, all the other like saves that actually happen are just like, oh, I'm gonna get the puck, it's behind the net, and then somehow not be able to make it to the front of the net for like 6 minutes.
Julie the cat save is that what 18,000 people in the building are like, where's the puck?
Yeah, where's the puck?
Oh, she goes, oh, I caught it. Oh.
Well, it's not in the net, so
yeah, seriously, like if it's not net, who cares where it went?
Yeah,
it's not in the net. He didn't score. They lost.
It's, that damn
triple D,
aka
stick handling. Stick handling at its finest.
Charlie Conway's triple deke is like the best of the best, though. Just like 3 dekes at the blue line, stop at the hash marks and shoot.
Yeah.
What were you doing? You're just stick handling.
and just like going into it as well, right? Like,
yeah.
Like really, really selling it. Like he was going down a slalom.
Yeah, and then that's Gunnar Stahl's. That's his move too, eh?
Yeah.
So Julie Cat has to count the dekes.
1, 2, that's 3.
Does it get any better with the second one though? D2? Because I don't even know. I don't think I've seen that movie, and
well,
debating on
the ragtag group
for the States.
Yeah, they play for Team USA with the support of US's own Wayne Gretzky.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, the ragtag group just expands to people from different parts of the US.
Okay.
So there's Luis Mendoza. He's from Miami, I think.
Mendoza.
So wait, Canadian Wayne Gretzky is coaching Team USA and
no, he's endorsing.
Oh, okay.
And this is the Goodwill Games.
Right.
So it's like the under 15 tournament.
Is D2 the one where the guy's like, well, it's not here in the rule book that they can't switch jerseys?
Oh yeah.
Or is that the
yeah? That's the second.
Is that the last one?
No, that's the second one.
That is the second one.
Yeah.
How many are there? Is there 3? There's 3.
Yeah.
Okay,
so the third one, they're at like a prep school.
And don't worry, the third one, you actually learn the fundamentals of hockey.
Yeah.
Like there's legit drills, not like soft hands or
cleaning up the garbage.
Cleaning up the garbage or
passing the
throwing
eggs,
footballs around and tying a goalie to the posts and firing pucks at him.
I think they do a something with balloons in the third one. They're just like kicking balloons around, or maybe that's the second one.
That's the second one.
Yeah,
it's like after practice. So it's Team Iceland shows up.
Yeah.
And
Oh
pops
yeah,
the balloon.
the coach.
You're not really selling this for me.
God, so intimidating.
No, we are. We are definitely selling
It's-
this.
And is Emilio in all
worth
three?
it's worth a watch.
Yeah, he's in all.
Is Emilio in all three? Yeah. Oh, he signed a
He's
3
in
year
all
deal,
3 of the
3 movie
shows and
contract.
season one
Of Game Changers.
season one of Game Changers.
Interesting.
Oh yeah.
Probably never made it past that PTO from the first movie. Probably not. Can't believe I'm getting shot.
he's no, he competes in the second one. He's like
does he?
about to get called. He's about to get called up. I won't spoil what happens after
Yeah,
that.
no, don't ruin
Probably like a knee injury or something, I would imagine. He tries to do the deke in overtime.
Tries to
win to tie the game. Yeah.
Well, he is what is he? Mr. Minnesota or something like that?
The Minnesota Kid.
The Minnesota Kid, yes.
Yeah. He's not a mystery yet.
He's like Minnesota Kid in his 30s. Who just went to law school.
Yeah, I mean, why would he even go back to hockey? He was doing fine at Ducksworth.
Like even that, like, or even just get into like being an agent or something.
Yeah,
you'd be able to work those contracts.
Man, Basil McRae and Mike Modano knew who he was right away.
Right,
he's my good friend. He's my good friend, Basil. Hey, if you ever want to try out, like that's how it works in hockey, right?
Yeah, exactly.
If you ever want to
come on
try,
down.
Don't worry, I'll put in a good word for you.
I'm a knuckle-fisted bruiser. I'll get you in. I'm the points guy on the team. Yeah, no.
Mike
Modano's
Modano.
Like, out of here. Yeah.
See, like I said, at least we know who those guys are. Now you can throw a stick. I wouldn't be able to name a player really.
Oh, the last time I went to a Sens game, I was just sitting there and I'm like, I knew Claude Giroux because
let's go, guy.
Let's go, guy. Yeah, like I entered a fantasy league this year for the first time in like 6 or 7 years. I have no idea. Thankfully, it was an auto draft. Like it just drafted the team for us, and I probably recognized, I'd say, about 25% of the names. So I'm 7th out of 12. So I figured.
Oh, there you go. Last.
I mean, it's not bad, but 4 goalies who I've never heard of before, 2 centers, a couple of left wings. No idea who they are.
Yeah,
I could be lining up fourth line players, my whole roster, and not even know anything about it. Right?
Like, this guy sounds good.
Yeah, he sounds like a goal scorer. Well, he's got 3
that
points.
That was basically the last probably 3 years of playoff hockey pools, where it was just like pick players off a list kind of thing.
Yeah, just
I was more so just picking names that I knew versus names that were like good.
Yeah,
and I'm like, this guy's, it says like 40th year in the league. Yeah, but I know his name, so I'll pick him.
Check.
Yeah, check.
Chris Neal, I know him.
Yeah,
he's gonna get me a lot.
He's gonna get a ton of goals.
When people pick teams in like the NCAA pool just because of the mascots.
Yeah.
Oh, do they? Yeah.
Mascots.
There's a thing like it's like people like picking it like, oh, it's like the Lions versus like the Thunderbirds. Well, a lion can beat a bird. Check.
There's literally no other fantasy sport or pool or anything that you could enter where going into the first game you're like, I'm gonna win it all. To 90 minutes later being like, well, it's broken, it's busted.
Yeah, well,
I'm done.
That was a good run.
Stand to me.
That was a good run. Yeah.
Would you finish again dead last?
Yeah, but you had a good day.
Yeah, I had a great 2 hours. Yeah.
So you just filled the bracket and I'm out.
That's right.
But there's some serious money. It was every year. There's you go perfect to get Warren Buffett's given $1 million or a billion or something.
Yeah, the chances are.
There was that one kid. I want to say he was about 13 or so. And he went pretty far. He went pretty deep with the perfect bracket. And I want to say that he had it busted in the back half of the tournament.
It's crazy because it's like the
upsets,
especially with the basketball NCAA like Final Four and all that kind of stuff. You could their rankings are pretty good. Like the higher ranked team is generally going to win a bunch of the time. So like those ones aren't really impossible to get from beginning to end. It's the like 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 ranked teams that, when 13's playing 7, to get that correctly is going to be a lot harder. Yeah, pretty much. You're absolutely just flipping a coin, and that's why it's so hard to like. It's not hard to pick. I mean, it's still hard to pick who's going to be in the Final Four. But the way they get there is like it's so hard because you have to pick all the like mid-tier teams to also win.
Well, it's 64. Is it 64 teams to start? Like that's.
I think they're expanding that too now.
Wow.
I think like it officially starts at 64, but last year,
game.
Yeah, a couple years ago they had some like play-ins, but I think now they want to expand it to almost like a play-in tournament, like a pre-tournament tournament.
Every school in the States.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
We got a 128 team tournament. That would be a very long tournament. Just a little longer.
Well, and single elimination doesn't help either, right? Because anybody can win at any point if it's single elimination. One bad bounce.
Yeah.
And it's over.
Also, like I never really understood the play in like the last 4 teams to come in, because they would get ranked 16th and you're playing like the number 1 team. I'm like, okay, cool. You got to play in to play one of the top 5 teams in the nation.
Yeah.
Sure. Once every 10 years, one of them wins, but I mean, the chances are you did all this work for one more game and to like probably get pretty humiliated.
And probably playing the next day, maybe having a day.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe the next day. And it's like, oh, great. We won this mini tournament only to leave 24 hours later. Just like my bracket.
And you have to fly out and then fly back.
Oh, those guys are bussing it. It's like minivans.
Yeah, you get to fly out. We'll give you all the perks, but once you lose,
yeah, that's it. You find your own way home.
You had your free limo ride.
Laidlaw, the official sponsor of the NCAA.
Fly Sunwing.
Uh-oh.
Or Southwest in the States.
Might not make it. Sorry, guys. We're late for our game.
Be there for the following year's tourney.
Like, doesn't it bother anybody, like all these people who flew out all these places and all these airlines when like half our country and the US were under like the worst storm in a century, and people have the nerve to complain that they didn't get home or that it's delayed or canceled.
Yeah. And on top of that, the hospitality industry, much like the airline industry, has not yet fully recovered from the pandemic, because if anything, if the pandemic proved anything, it's that those two industries are not reliable for employment.
Right.
And so, if it were to happen again, knock on wood, it doesn't, they would lose, they'd be on EI, not working, whatever, having to lay off temporarily majority of the staff. So their staffing levels aren't even where they're supposed to be, let alone.
And they're charging through the roof for everything now too for there.
It's ridiculous.
Like there was one of the guys I was working with was talking, his son is in plays competitive volleyball, and there was a tournament that was going to be in the Toronto area, and said even if you were like half hour 45 minutes, the rates for the hotels were almost the same as if you were staying in the city.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, so you couldn't get anything cheaper than like $350 a night.
Yikes.
Well, we went to Jade and I went to Montreal in July to see Bill Burr, and it's my own fault. We bought the tickets in October, so we bought them 9-10 months ahead of time, and in my infinite wisdom decided to wait until maybe 3 weeks or 4 weeks before the show. And it was the Just for Laughs festival that was going on, and every hotel, like I was seeing hotel rooms for like $1,300 a night, $900 a night, $800 a night. And I was like, well, looks like we're driving back tonight.
Yeah.
We are not
sleeping in the car.
That's right. We were sleeping in the car. Yeah.
How was Bill Burr?
It was amazing.
Of course.
It's Bill Burr. It was amazing. I'm sure many popular, like I'm sure David Chappelle does this or whatnot, but they make you lock your phone. So you can't take pictures. You can't go on it. And if you need to make a phone call, you have to go to these designated areas out in the concourse. And there's somewhere there that unlocks the phone. You step in, you make your phone call, do what you have to do. They get you to put the phone back in the bag. They lock it, and then you go back to your seat. So it was actually quite refreshing, if you think about it, sitting in your seats for about 45 minutes before the show starts, and you're having a conversation as opposed to just down on your phone.
Yeah.
Sir, a what?
The conversation.
Is that like a text?
Never heard of it.
Kind of, but in real life.
That happened to me just before Christmas. I was at work and I got a email like, give me a call. I'm like, what is this nonsense?
Yeah.
We're emailing. Let's just continue this back and forth. So I don't have to
Why,
actually
are you
talk
on
to
fire? Because why do I need to call you?
Yeah.
And then I called and I get, oh, you are in the office because I saw the number. So I'll come over. I'm like, this is getting worse.
Real life interaction? Get out.
No.
This is why I work from home. To avoid all of this. That's the best.
Yeah.
Working from home is when you get the random phone call that you can ignore and say, oh, sorry, I was on another call.
I had I had to step away from my desk all day.
You're not
All day.
changed
or the rest of the day.
Yeah.
Take an early lunch. So if they ever call you between 11 and 12, you can say, oh, I took an early lunch.
That's right.
And then they don't call you between 12 and 1 because they thought that was your lunch.
That's 2
That's
hours.
2 hours.
That's what I do. I go for lunch 11, come back for 12. Everyone else leaves from 12 to 1. It's like 2
Perfect.
lunches.
It's the perfect system.
Perfect. Crap.
I have seen no flaw until there's the 11:30 to 12:30 meeting.
Yeah. Come on.
Yeah. You know what I want to do? Let's bring back little breaks so everyone can have a sip of water and watch a classic commercial.
Man your battle station.
The enemy's armed for battle. It's our move, sir.
H4.
It's electronic talking battleship
Patrol boat. Head.
with real voice command. Real battle sound
Carrier. Head.
He got us, sir.
He's clever. Against a foe or against a computer.
We missed.
First to sink his enemy's fleet. Win.
Battleship. Done.
What now, sir?
Can you swim, Nelson?
Battleship, an electronic talking battleship from Milton Bradley.
You sunk my battleship.
So awesome.
John Connery, he will be missed.
You suck my Scrabble ship.
Honestly, though, serious question. Is there any other game that you've played where people have actually tried to cheat more than when playing this game?
No.
It felt like every time I played this game, I had to tell the person, no, like, don't stand up, don't lean over, don't, there was always.
Oh, I thought you meant like
Yeah, I thought you
positioning
meant like
your
stacking.
ships, like
No,
like
no,
stacking
no.
your
Yeah,
submarine
trying to-
on top of
trying to like peek
tugboat or whatever.
over, trying to peek around the other side. Maybe it was just my brother, my family. Maybe I come from a family of cheaters. I don't know. It just felt like every time I played this game, it was playing against a bunch of people that were trying to cheat. I still won though.
Yeah, obviously. Cheaters never win.
That's why they have that whole expression. Yeah, no, Battleship. That's it's one of those ones that it can be fun, but also can be very boring when it's just consecutive miss
Yeah.
after miss
Miss.
after miss. And then it's do you have your ships on the board?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. But let's not forget this is also a game that promotes murder. You are murdering people, those sailors.
Yeah, there are
on all
people
those
on that
ships. It's like thinking of all the contractors on the Death Star.
Hasn't Pearl Harbor taught you nothing?
Wow.
The movie? No.
Yeah.
It's that Michael Bay cannot make a drama. The kids got a lot of board games over Christmas, and
Nice.
it's a lot of setup for very little return because they play once, and once somebody wins, they move on to something else.
They don't want to rematch.
No,
It's okay.
they're all right. It's who won, and then who came in second, and then okay, well,
And the rest.
and the rest. Although I will say that I did get a message saying that when I was at work that the kids were playing NHLopoly, and they played for like almost 3 hours.
Oh wow.
Because
Reasons. Yeah. But
So
when they
wait.
played SpongeBob Life, one and done.
The NHLopoly, is it NHL team per street or
Monopoly
per
Junior, sorry, to be specific.
avenue?
I guess there's like trades and stuff involved. I didn't get the whole gist of the rules. Yeah, I guess you could trade properties or something. I don't
Well,
know.
you can
I
in
guess
normal
you can do that
Monopoly.
in regular Monopoly.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I guess it's like when it's team related, it sounds cooler.
That's true.
I trade you the Edmonton Oilers for the Ottawa Senators.
And a bag of bucks.
And then what would be the railroads? What would they be? The divisions, maybe? I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm not.
Although I did hear that apparently we've all been playing incorrectly Monopoly. If someone chooses not to buy a property, apparently in the actual official rules, it's supposed to go to auction.
Auction, yeah.
Yeah, but no one ever does.
Monopoly is like the most house ruley board game ever, though.
I think Uno's like that too.
Yeah, that's true, I guess.
Because you're not apparently supposed to stack the draw twos.
Enough with the yes, you can stack. Screw you, official Uno Twitter.
Yeah. It's crazy rules.
You don't
That's
know
what
my
we're
house
doing.
rules.
Yeah, draw that 16.
Yep.
+4.
That's right. But like Monopoly has like so many, all the things that instead of like going to the bank goes into the middle, but if you land on free parking, you get it all. Like free parking's not a thing. There's no that just kind of popped up and everyone started going with it. But
yeah,
free parking is just like you're
just waiting.
It's an end game spot that you like are completely safe in, right? Like when everyone has a property and there's houses and hotels and everything on there, free parking will always be the spot that you can land on
and not have to pay
anybody, not have to pay or do anything. But then it turned into I hope I land on it to get the like $40 in the middle.
I will take my $10 for placing second in a beauty contest.
Yes.
Purdy.
Put it towards the luxury tax.
Yeah, I don't think I actually sat down and read the rules. I bet you if I read the rules of Monopoly, I'd be like, my God, I've never played this accurate.
Oh, absolutely.
I think really the free parking one is the big rule that, depending on who you're
follows,
playing with, nobody follows. I think everything else is pretty standard, unless I haven't read the rules in so long that I need to refresh myself.
Yeah, because it's supposed to be like you land on a property, you can choose to buy it or not. And if you don't choose to buy it, it goes to auction.
I knew that, yeah.
And, at that point, whoever gets it. But so there's like a couple of ways to play it too, because I always played, if you were going to do it that way, that the person who landed on it is allowed to participate in the auction.
Which would make sense because you declined to buy it originally.
Right? But then other people say that it's an auction, it's up for grabs. And so, you would kind of play that card to try and get the property for less than, the board says it is. But then it's you declined the opportunity to buy it. Like you shouldn't be allowed to participate in the auction.
No, you had first right of refusal. You refused it.
Now you don't. Yeah, you don't get to try and get it for
cheap. You did that in real life. You walk into a store, like, how much is this iPad? It's $500. I'm not going to buy it. Well, now it's up for auction.
$30.
I refuse.
Yeah. I will take 2.
It's like the wish.com just in real life.
Yeah.
So what would it start at? $0, I guess, if you were
I think it starts at what's the minimum bill? It's a 5 or 10.
Is it, or is it like what the mortgage on the back is? Like, when you have to cash in your shit?
Mm-hmm.
Would you just start there? Like if you got a $200 property, but it's $75 if you mortgaged
it? Yeah, I think it's something like that. Yeah,
that makes sense.
But it's like I just don't understand how we would ever not get to the actual price of the spot. Like eventually you're like, okay, I don't know if the things say it's $300 to get it, and the person's like, I don't want to buy it, or like I don't have $300 to buy it, and then someone's like, oh, I'll pay whatever it is, 75 or 100. Like I feel like it would, if you have the money, even at 300, like just to get the extra property is worth it.
Yeah,
and if you can get it for a little cheaper, cool. But like I doubt that something that's $300 at an auction goes anywhere less than like $250.
And then start the opening bid $250.
Yeah. What am I bid?
And the guy's already up to $250. You might as well just amount it to $3.
Yeah. That's what I would do. I would just like bid $295 or whatever. $299. And then if someone wants to get it for $300, I'm like, I'm not gonna overpay for Pennsylvania Avenue, you know, like
Baltic Avenue.
yeah,
Nice.
Baltic Avenue.
300.
Yeah.
It's already $100. 300. I like the Baltics.
So then I guess that means if you don't have enough money to buy the property, then it would automatically go to an auction, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then you just hope the person would hope that it is below whatever amount of money they have left, if they choose to.
Yeah, if they choose to also be part of the auction, the Happy Gilmore rule, as we call it.
Happy Gilmore rule.
$275.
Yeah. No, don't worry, we can get it for less than.
Maybe not. I feel as though Adam Sandler peaked really early with his movies.
So early.
100%.
It's so hard to watch him now.
Yeah. We tried watching. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, he's trying to recapture the glory days, but he's just too old for it now.
The Happy
Why
Gilmore
is he
days.
doing comedies? Like I find that most of the movies he's doing now are more serious in nature. He's not.
Yeah, like he when he first did his Netflix deal, it was straight up comedies, but I think now, he's branching back out to the more dramedy.
I think he branched out to dramedies because he realized that his newer comedies were just bombing because they just were not.
I don't know, Jack and Jill.
Put some prosthetics on him, make him. Yeah, no. But we tried watching. Billy
Can't do that in 2023.
That's the thing. Like
No.
that's because his brand
Should've
of
done it then.
comedy in the 90s, like, appeals to us because it was funny back then. You know, like there's a lot of stuff in Billy Madison and Happy Gilmore and Big Daddy and like all those ones that movie
Little
being
Nicky.
made today is just, it's not a good idea. And so like that's what he tried to do, was trying to recreate that, you know, Billy Madison style of movie, and people were like, it's not so funny anymore. So then he went on to the dramedies because he's like, well, this isn't working. I gotta pivot quick.
That'd be like trying to recreate The Office for this day and age.
Yeah.
Would
Well, I
not
was gonna say,
happen.
like, he did Chuck and Larry. Like, that was not that long ago. I'm surprised they got away with it then.
Yeah, that's true. Well, no, that was like,
I want to
what,
say that was like
2005.
Like 2000. No, I think it was a little bit later than that.
Yeah, it's definitely older.
Yeah, I'm sure. Like that was one that like I thought was funny, but it probably wasn't.
I don't remember. Oh, because
2007.
they pretended they were married, wasn't it? Is that the
because they were cops
They're firefighters.
or firefighters.
Yeah,
That's right. Yeah.
but just the
Yeah,
gay
'cause
stereotypes and all the other lingos and stuff like that. You'd think like it was like every couple lines.
Oh,
for the
yeah.
longest part.
Yeah, that would not be made in today's world. Absolutely.
not-
I mean, if it did,
you
like it
expect
would get
all that in the
just
80s.
boycotts and like
Oh, he would be canceled.
the worst stuff.
We would never hear from Adam Sandler again.
And yet, Will and Grace, no problems.
No problem.
Even when he came back.
Yep.
If he, I guess, like this, it was. I think even back in late '90s, early 2000s, South Park caught up on that. You can say and pretty much do whatever you want with a gay character if that gay character is in fact gay. Like Mr. Garrison, he was like, there was an episode where he was the only one that could say, we'll say the F word because I don't want to.
Yeah,
You never know. Spotify.
you don't want to get demonetized.
Everyone was bleeped by using it, but he could say it because it revealed at the end that his character was gay.
Is that a thing?
If I trust Trey and Matt with the censors, especially with the censors.
Yeah, that's true. Eh? Like they
They
definitely,
knew their way around it.
Yeah.
They're cooking us something. Yeah, no, I haven't watched. Well, you talking about Hustle? Is that what you tried to watch, Steve?
No, we tried to watch Billy Madison, and we got maybe like 15 minutes into it.
Oh man. His voices early on, like when he's taking a bath with the swan and stuff.
Yeah.
And just like the sunscreen, like it's not easy to watch now.
No, it was a bit much, but I mean, back
I'd be able
then.
to sit through his comedy albums. It's like Toll Booth Willie and stuff.
Oh yeah, I remember those.
Those were huge when I was in school.
Yeah, who there was like he played like the Mexican Gringo or what, something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, like it's just so bad now. But back then, like we were just like dying listening to that.
Yeah.
Shampoo is better.
Yeah.
No, we did try and watch Hustle, but we got maybe half an hour into it and
Just wasn't
like,
doing it.
it's okay. We'll get back to it, and that's our modus operandi as we start something.
I was scrolling through my Plex movie collection, and I got into the T's. Sorry, and I still scroll past Tenet that still has the halfway progress from like 3 years ago.
Oh yeah,
and I still have not gone back to it because at this point I'll have to go back and.
Oh, you got to start from the beginning.
Do you what you do, Vishal? Have the subs on because I couldn't hear anything.
For sure.
Welcome to my world. I put subtitles on.
I don't understand. Like
I always have subtitles on. I don't even read them half the time. Like most of the time, I don't read them. But for me, I'm generally snacking on something, so I'm like crunching away. I'm like I don't know what you're saying. Those are the times I actually look at it. But now it's like, when I'm at a friend's place or something, and we're watching something, and the subtitles aren't on, like even though I'm not reading them. It's like a safety blanket where I'm like, why don't you have your subtitles on, man? And they're always just like, because it's an English show, like
because I can hear it,
and understand it. That's right. And I'm like, yeah, but like, it's just nice to have. And
it's like the meme that goes around, right? It's like the beautiful woman, and it says like the movie, and then like her chest says the subtitles.
Yeah,
and then it's me, staring down here.
Yeah, pro subtitles.
Yeah, I'm a subtitles guy. That's for sure.
Which is funny. We're like, growing up, I always told like, you should read more. You should read more. Nah, no.
Who needs
now
it?
We're older. It's like that's all. We're not watching this stuff anymore. We're reading it.
I'm a real fast reader, actually.
Look at me go.
Look at me go.
You'd have to be, especially with depending on the movie.
I can keep up with an argument so easily.
Yeah.
Following along.
I can just imagine like those like Real Housewives with subtitles. It's probably like all like intelligible.
Oh my God. What a nightmare. Just the show in general, not the subtitles.
Have you gentlemen watched Kaleidoscope at all, which is on Netflix?
I've played with a Kaleidoscope.
Do you know of Kaleidoscope?
I've never heard of that.
So it's the main star, and it's Giancarlo Esposito from Breaking Bad. What was his name?
From Mandalorian industry.
Oh yes, Mandalorian 2, the one that I only 6 episodes in. But it's
season 1?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I know.
When it comes to Star Wars, McCoy is quite behind.
I am, and I'm just everything. Like I watch like blocks of episodes and I forget about them. And anyway,
but yeah,
so
Kaleidoscope it's an 8-episode season, and each of the episodes are named after colors. So blue, green, purple, red, yellow, orange, and you can
watch it
in any order, and each episode starts off with 24 hours before the crime, because it's about a heist and you're trying to find out who betrayed who, what was the result of the heist, how did they plan it, what was the outcome, that kind of thing. So we started watching. We just picked like the 6th out of 8 episodes, and we started watching it, and Jade and I were like, like it just doesn't feel normal.
Yeah. And
so we watched the first 5 minutes, and then we're like, no, let's just watch it from the first one. And so we've only watched 1 episode yet, but it's quite good. The first episode was 7 years before the robbery, and then the one we started, which we only got 5 minutes into, was 24 hours before the robbery. So I'm interested to see how it will play out, because I guess each viewing experience is different depending on the order.
What if you inadvertently watched the 8th episode first?
It's like no robbery.
But who knows? Maybe the 8th episode is like the day, like 2 days before.
It's got to be like 5 minutes before.
Yeah.
Or like maybe it's something like 24 hours later.
Yeah.
But yeah, now that you mention it, I do remember seeing something about the some series that you can watch in any order, and it everything eventually makes sense. Like once you watch once you finish all of them, it makes sense regardless of how
Feels
you
though it's
watch
like a
it.
situation comedy.
Yeah.
You can watch it in any order because nothing can. Like
Nothing-
the Big Bang
yeah.
Theory.
Well,
It's just
you know,
13 seasons of just randomness.
like I appreciate when you try and take that medium and push the envelope and what you can fit.
Yeah.
Like Momentum was where I think everything backwards, and it was Johnny Depp, Nick of Time. If you remember that movie, it wasn't all that great, but it was a 90-minute movie that
do remember Nick of
actually
Time.
happened in 90 minutes.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? Yeah.
So I appreciate that when they're trying to manipulate the medium to create
Yeah. I
new
liked,
experiences. So I'll be curious.
I liked. I think it was. So I didn't love Dunkirk the movie, but I liked the way that it was shot because it was like 3 different time periods. It was similar to Kaleidoscope. So like there was one section of it that was like, a few days ago, and then another group of people that you're following that is like 3 hours ago, and then another group of people that's like right at the battle or whatever. And it kind of bounces between all of them, but it doesn't always tell you where you are in the timeline. So you just have to kind of remember which characters are at which moment in time. And so like I thought that was pretty cool. I just like I'm not a war movie guy other than like Saving Private Ryan, because that one's awesome.
And just the first 15.
Yeah. But I kind of felt the same way about, was it 1917 or
Yeah, I think
whatever,
I think
the one that was like,
Yeah.
it was a lot of single shot scenes. And I
Mhm.
was like, I thought that's, yeah, exactly. Single shot until they cut. But there was still a lot of like, 5 and 10 minute single shots, which is like, it's just impressive that they can coordinate a bunch of those in a row. And so I'm like, that's just, it's cool.
Especially at that scale too, right? Because there's like a lot of extras.
Oh,
and
yeah.
explosions,
people running through crowds and all that kind of stuff. And, if anything goes wrong, trusting them to,
like I trips holding the steady cam.
yeah. But like trusting them to continue on with the scene and figure out how to make it work instead of starting all over at the beginning.
Mhm.
But again, like the movie itself, I was like, like it's not really
That's what I heard. It was
kind of
more
movie.
more
But
the technical.
the
than the story.
cinematography, I was like, all right, like I'm into this.
Well, I guess Tenet's like that too, right? Like
Exactly,
it's
yeah.
taking a different approach. Like I haven't seen Tenet yet, partially because it scares me a little bit that I won't
I've
be
seen
able to
half,
follow
and
it.
I've heard none.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
I've seen half. I've heard. I've seen it a few times, and like I'll tell
Does it
you,
grow on
even knowing what's supposed to happen, like I don't know what's going on. Like,
Say that again. I didn't catch what you
even
said.
knowing how it's supposed to go, or like what is going to be happening, and like why
Oh,
things are
right.
happening the way they are. I'm watching, and I'm still like, I don't get it. Like
get it.
I know what's happening, I just don't get it.
Yeah.
And I've seen the movie
See,
like 3 times.
wow. Well,
But
that
it's-
says something.
Like
right?
it's cool, but it's also I'm just like
That's just like textbook Nolan, with the exception
Yeah,
of
exactly.
Batman movies.
that.
For
I just
sure.
I would love a explain it like I'm 5. Like
Yeah, like a Michael
like
Scott to Oscar.
Yeah.
Tell
Yeah.
me like I'm 5.
yeah, explain it to me like I'm 5. Like I just don't know if you can with that movie.
Yeah. You must declare bankruptcy.
Yeah. Just because you say it.
Yeah, just because you say it.
I didn't say it. I declared it.
That's right.
Yeah, because The Prestige 2 is another one you could watch many times and pick up different things each time
Yeah.
you watch it. Inception,
Inception, yeah.
Interstellar.
Memento.
Interstellar. I still haven't seen that yet.
Really? I love that movie
Yeah.
too.
It's a great movie. Do I understand it really? Like, I mean, I get the gist of it, but
Yeah.
like,
In terms
it's-
of, but like I've been into like black holes and all that kind of stuff since I was really young.
yeah,
And so like all of that part I got, and then just the ending, I was like, no, this doesn't make sense.
Let's
fifth
go back.
dimensions and
Yeah, like that's not how it works. But
no.
I don't know, maybe it is. Who knows?
You want to talk a bit about this nonsense with DC Comics and their movies going forward? And how we can lose almost everybody except for apparently Ezra Miller?
Yeah, right? How?
It's
We're
terrible.
rebooting the universe,
It's like-
but we'll keep this guy.
How to manage so poorly that
I just feel for James Gunn too. It's like he already pissed people off with the Henry Cavill. He
Yeah.
pissed people off with the Gal Gadot. Really pissed me off with canceling every project that Michael Keaton was involved in,
Oh my god. Well, no, I mean,
including
Flash
cameos.
Flash is still
Well,
happening.
they were gonna do Batman Beyond,
Yeah, but they needed. Maybe they might still too, though. I mean, like this. We
but
still
they
got
will
the
probably
Flash
won't do it with
eventually.
him.
yeah.
It's just this must be DC 5.0 in terms of what their plan is, because every time they roll it out, nothing ever comes from it. And I think the problem, unlike Marvel, is that you have like 4 or 5 different production companies that are using different properties that are trying to make their own little cinematic universe. Like Bad Robot's one. Like there's a few others. Bad Robot didn't even make a movie, I don't think.
No.
But you don't have one cohesive unit. And I think, unfortunately, the position that James Gunn is in is that he's gonna have to piss off some people. You're not going to be able to get out of this without pissing off a whole bunch of people. So they're better off.
The thing is,
That's what
if
there was
you're
no
going to
need.
blow it up this hard,
Blow it up.
why wouldn't you just say, "Hey, listen, we're starting fresh. We're doing the Marvel approach. Blah blah blah. We're rebooting everything, and cool, you're going to do that." But then you keep Ezra Miller, who has just been
Yeah,
in the news for the worst stuff for the last like 3.5
That's okay.
years.
He stayed out of trouble the past 6 months, so
you know what though? Maybe they're just keeping him for this Flash. Like if DC was smart, if James Gunn and whoever the other guy is that he's working with was smart, they would use the Flash as the reset button. Do like a flashpoint of some sort. Like use
which I think
that
is the
as
plan.
Yeah,
but just use that. So yeah, Ezra Miller is our Flash, but when he resets the timeline from the
It's
Speed
Grant
Force,
Gustin.
it's Grant Gustin or it's whomever else it might be. Like, so technically, we didn't lie to you because we did keep him on for one movie and then we bounced him.
yeah.
But it's unfortunate because Shazam, I really like Shazam. I thought it was a funny,
I thought
charming.
Shazam was the best DC movie.
It
like,
was so good. It was
in
so
years.
good. So you have properties like that where they're not going to be able to benefit from the potential that movie had, but then you have other ones like
Yeah, but they're keeping Matt Reeves' Batman going as its own thing.
yeah, and that's because it's in its own little production company that's put the Batman out, and it's just like
So we're gonna reboot Batman,
then
but we're also not rebooting Batman. But
then
rebooting-
the
they have
thing
but they
with
have a
that is-
multiverse with. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like, if they're gonna do that, that's totally fine. But then don't play it up as if it's a universe where there's gonna be crossovers and all that kind of stuff. Just have your Batman movie be a Batman movie that doesn't include Superman and Wonder Woman and whoever else. Have an Aquaman movie, but don't make it so that Aquaman has to eventually meet up with the Flash.
Yeah.
I
you
feel
know,
like
like-
you could do that, but don't have it as a cohesive story. You could have the stories of
Like
Batman and
Crossover.
Superman
Oh,
shows
just
up.
like the TV crossovers, right? Like,
Yeah.
sure, they're in for an episode. Cool. Like you're in the same universe, but not all of your stories have to intertwine.
Yeah,
which is
'cause we're
kinda
getting to
like
the point
the-
where we're in 5 phases of Marvel. And like, well, why didn't
Exactly.
the Avengers show up to help Spider-Man defeat this, or and vice versa? It's in New York, but Daredevil was there, but he didn't show up during this fight.
Because every movie
Yeah.
they make makes $1 billion. That's why they don't know you.
That's
nothing.
why. I
They
read
don't know
I
you
read the
yet.
best I read the best headline today about Avatar. Hold on, I gotta find it. It was just ridiculous.
It was funny how this started off as this has to be the greatest movie of all time in order to turn a profit. And then now all of a sudden at 1.5, no, I made money.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's James Cameron forced to finish Avatar 3 after making too much money.
Yeah, there you go.
A
See what
cautionary
happens?
tale about making 1.5 billion at the box office. But he clarifies in this article, just to clarify, I never actually gave it a number. I said it has to be in the top handful of highest grossing films in history, and someone else applied that number and it got picked up. The number is actually less. He also declined to share the actual number.
Okay.
But like,
So it's more or less
it's like it was 1.48 basically. But I mean, like, it's even just off the hype. So like I've seen Avatar 2, and I thought it was like fine. You know, it was like Avatar 1. Everything
that's what I've seen. Everyone's like, it is a technical marvel.
Oh,
the story is
graphically, like visually in general, it's incredible. And every scene where they're like underwater or near the water looks fantastic. It's like so well done.
It looks like actual water.
But then I don't know, like story wise, like it's fine. You know, it's not it's whatever. And I could have done with it being half an hour shorter, 45 minutes shorter, because there's just a lot of like
world building.
Not even world building, like, oh, you guys are jungle people, now you have to learn how to swim. But then, like, the swimming scenes, while they looked fantastic, were just like they're just swimming around and being like, oh, I can't breathe as much as you water people. Like, okay,
let me show you how.
Exactly. And it's just like,
if you wanted to watch that, you would have put The Abyss back on.
Yeah, like those kinds of things drag on, and you're like, hey, cool, we get it. They're like, they don't know how to swim yet, and you know, we know that they will know how to swim.
They will learn the way of the water.
They will learn the way of the water.
Isn't that how movies are though now? Like, and we're almost at the point where you have a 90-minute or 100-minute movie it's almost refreshing to go to a movie where it's like that now.
I watched Bullet Train not that long ago. Amazing.
I thought it was fantastic. I thought Bullet Train was
like 90 minutes of just pure awesomeness.
Absolutely fantastic. I'm say watching it's like top 3 movies of 2022.
Wow. It's up there with like Slevin or Smoking Aces. It's just simple to the point story.
Non-stop action.
Yeah, you don't have to think about
a little bit of like a little bit of twist and stuff that you figure out as you're going.
But and like there's a good rewatchability to it too.
Oh yeah.
Just because
the characters are great. There's
characters
great dialogue.
I would love a oh well, I don't want to say it. I don't want to spoil anything. But there's a few people in the movie. I would love a
spin-off?
A spin-off TV show. A little like buddy cop action.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I know there's Aaron one of the Quicksilvers. I can't remember which one it was.
Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Yeah, he's in
Craven.
Yeah.
Craven, that's right, yeah. I may have to watch that tonight.
No, it's definitely worth a watch. Yeah.
Yeah. No,
is it Prime or is it Prime?
It's a Sony movie, so yeah, it could be.
Okay.
I don't know where Sony's stuff it drops to. They're all over the place. They had a deal with Lions. Sony's like they had stuff that show up on Stars. They had stuff that shows up on Netflix. They had stuff that shows up on Crave.
Bullet Train is on Prime.
On Prime. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, isn't Sony fast tracking Spider-Man 4? I thought I read that somewhere.
Oh no, seem to be doing everything else with it. TV shows on Amazon.
Yeah.
If he's gonna be in any of the this being Peter Parker or even Tom Holland is gonna be involved with Kang Dynasty or Secret Wars, and they have to throw another flick in there because they got to explain how now he's back in the fold, right? After No Way Home. Yeah. So they'd have to do a fourth one just to get that going again.
Although Kang Dynasty, they could get away with it because it's all about time manipulation. So they could just pluck Peter from before No Way Home, plop him in Kang Dynasty, and then there you go. You don't have to explain.
I don't know about you guys, but is the more you hear about Deadpool 3, the less interested you get?
Well, what have we heard? We've heard.
Yeah, I've like barely heard anything about it.
Okay, just there's new stuff coming out. It's basically like a time travel buddy cop, like buddy road trip type thing, where they're going to be playing around with the X-Men universe, like the Fox movies.
Yeah.
Oh, that's for real. Like that's legit.
More and more keeps coming out.
They played around with that in Deadpool 1, right?
That's what I mean. It's like you're retreading already.
Yeah.
And now just
I guess, but like the difference is they're playing around with it with characters that we
MCU.
actually know.
yeah,
Instead
like
of
the Fantastic Four guys,
Yeah.
and like I heard, like there's even talk of even going into Wesley Snipes' Blade,
oh really?
bringing everything in, leading up to Secret Wars.
Now, do you think that they would do that just to take the piss on, like, you know?
I think if you do it now, you're basically taking away what you were gonna do with Secret Wars. If you're gonna show them all now, then they're gonna come back. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I've already seen this. I already played this game.
Yeah.
Well, they confirmed that the Beyonder is going to be in part in Secret Wars, which is interesting. But for Deadpool 3, I think all I've heard was that obviously Hugh Jackman's back. But then I also thought I read somewhere that him and Spider-Man were going to be a part of Secret Wars. And whether that's Spider-Man Tobey Maguire or Tom Holland Spider-Man, I don't know. But I don't know why the connection with Spider-Man. I think the fact that Hugh Jackman is going to be with Secret Wars, it's the Wolverine that doesn't stop playing Wolverine.
Yeah.
Although he's like, this is my last.
Yeah, he said
was
this is it, unless Marvel says, hey.
Until they back up the brinks, and then.
Well, his latest comment was he was done until he found out that he could spend every day punching Ryan Reynolds.
Right.
So now he's back.
I did read an article a few years ago after Logan where he was like, I'm not playing Wolverine anymore. Like, this is the end, kind of whatever. And then,
didn't he cite like his
the
age?
Interviewer was like, well, what about if Marvel asks? And he's like, well, that's a different story. And so he was basically saying, I'm done with like Fox Wolverine.
Because I mean, a good way to end it.
Yeah.
I could have done without that fucking truck scene where there was like
oh my
like 2 minutes of F-bombs.
Just to get the R, or just to get their money's worth.
They could have taken that one scene out, and I would have been fine with it.
It still would have been an R-rated movie.
Yeah.
God, like that movie was just swearing for swearing's sake.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't even do it like crafty, like
no,
Quentin Tarantino movie or Scarface or something.
We haven't said F in 3 minutes. F that.
Purposely stubs his toe.
Yeah.
Say it.
Well, like he beats the shit out of that truck, and it's just F-bomb after F-bomb.
There's a counter that's like, okay, we got to 15. Okay, rated R movie. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure the Everything Wrong with Guys went to town on that movie.
The CG, everything, you know it. I haven't watched that in a long time. I might have to watch that again.
Logan?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a while. I think actually I don't think I saw it other than when I saw it in theaters.
I think there's very few comic book movies I've yet to rewatch. One was Thor: Love and Thunder.
Yeah, don't.
But the goats, guys, the goats.
It's the only good thing about it.
And I think the Eternals was the second one I haven't watched twice.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Eternals.
Doctor Strange, the first one for me, is the first one I think of. Love and Thunder, I guess I will not watch that again.
What if you have to do like a complete rewatch of everything?
You have to do the rewatch when the next movie comes out.
Then, yeah. Maybe I just won't put the subtitles on then. Go ahead, play it.
That's what I do with the Dark World.
Dark World's another one, yeah.
Yeah, just it plays in the background while I do literally anything else.
We watched.
If you don't have the subs on, you won't know what the Dark Elves are saying.
We watched Guardians of the Galaxy 2 today. It was nice. It was the second time I had seen it since I saw it for the first time, and it was good. I mean, if you kind of get past the dancing Groot and the emphasis on that, which clearly they pulled from the.
That's why it worked out because of the credits.
Yeah,
it would not have played any other time.
Yeah, if it was like
too long
movie, there's no way.
Yeah,
sell toys, man. You gotta sell toys.
Just like
I was saying, almost everything about Guardians 2 is better than the first one, but the first one's still a better movie.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think the music's still better in the first one.
I would put them equal.
I like the first one so much more, but like the story's better, the acting's better, the characters are drawn out more, but the first one's still a better movie.
I think the first one for me is, I think we've talked about this before, but it was the first Marvel movie that I went into where I just had no clue.
Nothing.
Like never read a Guardians comic in my life, didn't know who the characters were, whatever. And I was like, all right, Marvel, like, this is your chance. And they crushed it. I was like, before the movie was even over, I was ready to like read some comics and stuff.
Yeah.
And
So it's like our generation or the generation ahead of us is like, that's them going. It's like our parents or grandparents going into Star Wars.
Yeah.
It's like probably the only equivalent you can get of
like
a space
don't know
with
anything
that,
about
of
it.
knowing nothing about it, because no one knew. Like even people who knew comics are like, really, the Guardians of the Galaxy? Like,
yeah. How
even
are
I
they
don't know that. I know comics, but I don't know much about them.
Yeah. Yeah, I knew of Groot, I knew of Star-Lord, but did I ever read any of the comics? No, not that
No,
much.
they showed
Not
up in
enough to be
something
an
or like an
expert.
ad in like the insert
right.
of
Yeah. That's right.
like Guardians of the Galaxy issue 14 coming out next Thursday. Yeah.
You maybe could argue that might have been like maybe the peak of Marvel, like in their filmmaking, to take that property and just say, you know what, we're
going for
do
it.
whatever, we're going for it. And if
Yeah,
you
I don't
like
think
it-
anything has popped quite like they have.
Yeah.
No. Not as a like
No,
we
'cause,
didn't
like, Ant-Man
like
came
we
out,
didn't
like, it wasn't-
already know about like
Yeah.
Spider-Man. Like everyone knows about Spider-Man, so it wasn't a risk. Like literally any Sony makes Spider-Man movies that are absolutely terrible and crack $1 billion.
Yeah.
So like that's not a surprise, but any other group that's not Marvel making a Guardians level, like what's a like not even a C or D level DC comic, but like what's a F level DC comic book character?
Oh, so I think it's quite a lot.
Yeah, but like imagine DC
aside from the
making-
Trinity, I don't think many people know once you get past like Green Arrow, like anyone outside the Justice League, I think.
Yeah,
would be
but like
obscure to most
so like
people.
imagine
like a Mr.
DC
Terrific, maybe. I'm trying to think of.
Yeah, so like imagine DC making a movie about someone that's like not well
Terrific
known.
looks like badass though with that team.
Like how do you like also how do you screw up like a Superman movie?
Easy.
Apparently,
ask Bryan Singer.
Yeah, like it seems like
Zack Snyder too.
It seems like it should be such a slam dunk, right? Like anyone making a Spider-Man movie makes $1 billion, and you can't take Superman to that level, who's like the most well-known superhero ever.
Yeah, and you have Superman fighting Zod too.
Yeah, like you
unlike
have like the
Superman Returns, where it's just that's Bill's kryptonite real estate.
Yeah.
The I would say the only argument that they could potentially make is to why it's difficult with Superman. And I'm not saying that they could make the argument, but is that they sell Superman as this omnipotent figure that is, the Man of Steel. He's indestructible. He's, the last of his kind. He's all powerful. That any villain that you put him up against, he should be able to just beat.
There's
them,
there's no threat.
There's no equal. There's no threat. Maybe Doomsday, but people don't know about Doomsday. But to your point, yeah, like they just can't get a Superman movie right.
No,
to save their life.
Superman, where it's from the perspective of Earthlings, seeing him as the threat. So he's the villain of the movie.
But isn't that what Batman versus Superman was trying to be?
Yeah, but you don't do it like that. You don't have to have Batman.
Oh, yeah.
You treat it as like even do it as like a series, like or even just some
it's
short
called The
films.
Boys.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
That's right.
That's the only way to do Superman. You have Homelander,
where you make it like frightening.
Yeah.
Right?
He's the bad guy, but he's not though. It's just us coming to the grips of this like seemingly immortal person who's omnipresent and has all the powers that you can't even fathom is on your planet, and at a moment's notice can just turn and you guys are gone.
Save an airplane.
Yeah, man, I think his name's Anthony Starr that plays Homelander.
Yeah,
it's so phenomenal. Like he plays that character to a T. It's such a great show.
Yeah,
because it's so
and then
good.
the spinoff is coming out this summer, right?
Yeah,
I don't know about that one.
Gen V or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, was it?
Is that I don't know much about it, but I'm assuming it's just going to be their way to like introduce a bunch of new characters.
100%.
Right? Like they're just going to be shooting people up with this
Yeah.
thing. Be like, oh, now this one has this. It's going to be like X3. like X-Men 3. There's just like
Last Stand, yeah.
random mutants that are just have like one-off skills,
And make a quick appearance, and
they're just they're just everywhere. Like, oh, I have spikes on my face. Cool.
Quill.
What's your name? Spiky Face Man.
Like, yeah, Spiky McSpike Face. Why?
Yeah.
Give that man a TV show.
That's right.
Yeah, I don't think I could probably even verbally just profess my love for the boys adequately enough. It's just
I'm still not totally done. I'm like midway. No, finished season 2. How many seasons are there?
3.
3.
Yeah, so I think I've finished season 2, and I haven't had the time.
Just wait to the beginning of season 3, my friend.
Herogasm. Herogasm.
Yeah, Herogasm too. Yeah, like that's just a show that gets it. Like gets everything. It's playing on like the tropes.
Yeah.
That the studios have gotten into with everything, like for merchandising and all that stuff. And I think as a showrunner, that is also one that shat all over Disney Plus and how they do their shows. Like you do your show as a series. Don't do it as a movie you're going to break into 6 or 7 episodes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing. There's no like start to finish of an episode. It just goes and credits are over. Like most of their shows it's 6 episodes, but it's really a 2.5 hour movie.
Yeah, and it's really only
and it's noticeable.
It's only the second last episode that's like worth watching.
Yeah, and then you get the last episode, and it wraps up halfway through.
You're basically watching the beginning of the 3rd act of a movie.
Yeah,
that's all. That's all that's like good about a Marvel TV series.
I don't understand how
second to last episode
they can't figure that out.
Yeah,
we're at the 25-minute mark. Okay, episode over.
Yeah,
episode over.
No matter what.
Stop production. Done.
It's fine. We got 5-6 minutes of credits.
Yeah. No scene.
Oh, is that a short credit?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, that's the short one because we have to put a scene at the end of that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, even the Marvel Studio ones, like a minute is just the opening fanfare for their logo. And then you have 20 minutes of episode and then another 10 minutes of credits.
Credits of like what is it, like the drawings?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, cool.
Oh, the Mando ones?
Yeah.
At least those are
actually like
fun
cool
watching.
though.
Yeah,
like I like watching those.
And then you're stupid enough to watch all the credits to see if there's a scene, and then like as soon as it flips to Spanish, you're like, oh well, I guess there's no.
Oh
scene.
yeah, like
We got the Disney Plus credits. Yeah.
Yeah, She-Hulk baiting us with 3 episodes of post-credit scenes and then nothing for like the rest of the season.
Tell you.
Well, that's a good negative note to end on. Oh, She-Hulk.
Are we not doing Florida Man?
You do Florida Man.
Or is that a teaser for next week?
No.
The answer is they're all from Florida.
There's never not enough time for Florida Man.
Florida man, does whatever the fuck he can. Makes headlines every time. Florida's paradigm. Look out! Here comes Florida man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, Florida Man.
Yeah, Florida Man.
Yeah.
So I don't remember if anyone remembers the rules, but it's pretty simple. We'll read you a story that may or may not have occurred in the state of Florida.
But it has occurred in the States.
Sometimes yes, sometimes no.
Ooh.
That's for the viewer to decide.
Dun, dun, dun.
Or in this case, you guys. And I also, we have some sound effects, so
Here
we're
we go.
moving up in the world.
Amazing.
All right. Blank alleged van thief takes coffee break outside of police station. Florida man, true or false?
I'll let you take this one.
Takes coffee breaks. I'm gonna say true.
All right, so I will take the false on this.
True or falso or all of the above?
What are we saying?
British
Vancouver.
Columbia.
Oh. All right.
So
Drove
To
away in a
Steve.
delivery van that had been left.
yeah,
parked
Vancouver
with the keys
police
inside.
said yeah, parked with the keys inside around 6 a.m. on Monday in Robinson Street near Homer. Woo.
Of course.
Officers followed him inside and after a brief struggle arrested the man. It does not appear that either mental health or drugs were a factor in the incident. I don't know.
Yeah, just stupidity, I guess.
It's some sort of mental. Drunk man sends injured baby bird, to animal sanctuary in an Uber.
I'm
guess Vishal's
going to
going first.
take the false on this one as well.
See,
Stole
I
his
would have
answers.
said false too.
Didn't you get all
Only
stick
because
false?
I mean, you know
It's
what?
not. It's about.
I don't
it's
know
about your own records.
that. I don't know that.
I don't
Yeah.
know if Florida man would be so sensitive to a baby bird as to do that.
Exactly.
That's
We'll pay for an Uber.
that's my thinking. But
Right there with you.
All right. So both falso. And what was possibly the cutest drunken move ever? This Utah man.
Utah, those Mormons,
But
they know how to treat baby birds.
for all the right answers. At first, it was a joke, but hey, maybe we should call an Uber, he told Fox News. They were like, no, really, why not? We're paying them.
Yeah. That's hilarious.
Blank pulled gun at Starbucks over cream cheese. Michelle, as a former Starbucks employee, you should have firsthand knowledge of.
Yeah, I'm going with true. I'm going with true for sure. Over cream cheese, yeah, people go nuts.
Yeah, I'm gonna say true too.
Like-
We're not 3 in with no Florida. I mean,
Yeah,
Florida!
had to happen. Oh, they forgot
Miami
the
Gardens.
cream cheese.
An angry Florida man pulled gun on a drive-through worker because they forgot the cream cheese with his bagel.
Oh my god, the last sentence.
The employee at the other end of the gun just happened to be the daughter of the police chief.
Oh no,
Come
2 for
on.
2.
Come on, Florida man.
Florida
You know
man. Man.
Woman caught smoking weed in parking lot before court summons for weed possession.
Oh no.
I mean, you take these chances.
Okay, wait, is weed possession illegal in Florida?
I believe it is.
Okay.
I'm gonna
It's
say
also
true.
illegal in many other states.
Yeah.
Yeah, like this just seems stupid enough. Yeah, we got. I think
Just
it's
they'd be dumb enough.
I think it's 2 trues.
Mm-hmm.
True and true. Oh, where's?
Oh,
Hold on.
where's the answers?
Dramatics. The
Those are-
dramatics.
That was a double click.
What would you like the answer to be? Why don't you just tell me the name? Oh.
Jesus Christ, where'd it go? I'm missing the slide.
No, the slide deck.
That one's a choose your own answer. Well, this is embarrassing.
Choose your own adventure.
Oh, amazing.
Just edit that out in post.
Of course.
That's what we do here. We screw up and move on. All right. Man caught driving stolen SUV on way to bail out brother, also arrested for stealing SUV.
These are just like face palms, like every time.
Yeah, it really is.
Man caught stolen SUV on the way to bail out brother, also arrested for stealing SUV.
These are almost like Mad Libs.
I'm gonna say no. I mean,
Yeah, I feel like
you
this
know-
is almost like a Texas situation.
like how many SUVs are in Florida? Don't they all drive like convertibles and nice cars that they can't afford
E-scooters,
or steal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
bicycles.
Or like I'd say like a Texas or like an Ohio situation.
Minnesota.
Ohio man.
I'm gonna say Minnesota.
Yeah, there's snow. You tend to have to use sports utility vehicle when you have more adverse weather conditions. Kansas. Man in Kansas was arrested in November for driving. So ding, 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 ding. Stolen SUV. Woo.
Oh, what happened the last couple of minutes? Everything just went off the rails.
I will say this, though. Eric Dean McCracken. Great name.
Yeah, absolutely.
First sibling, 36-year-old.
Keith Ray McCracken. Also not bad.
McCracken.
I like how the names got worse as the kids got younger.
Yeah.
36-year-old Eric Dean and Keith Ray. Chevy Silverado.
They both sound like country musician names.
Yeah.
Eric Dean McCracken. Keith Ray McCracken.
And now the McCracken brothers.
Thank you, Kansas, and good night. And that was the awkwardly been too long doing Florida Man.
Florida man, friendly neighborhood Florida man. Wealth and fame is one goal. The police, he's ignored. To him, life is a GTA game. Wherever you find reptilians, you'll find Florida man.
I like the pronunciation of Florida.
Yeah, Florida.
Like
Flowrider.
All right, I'll see if I can go through my emails and find the answer to the last one. That'll be the shocking callback.
Next week on Open Call.
Previously on
what happened to Florida Man?
That still terrifies me. The Unsolved Mysteries music. I've been watching some Pluto TV that has like an Unsolved Mysteries channel. So in between shows, they often do ads for it.
Oh yeah,
and just listen to just the old.
There was a story on one of the episodes of Unsolved Mysteries that was in Carp, and for the good listener or viewer, Carp is just outside of where we all are. But yeah, there was
really.
Yeah, there's a story about someone sighted an alien ship or UFO in Carp, Ontario. Season 3, I believe it was.
Are you watching this?
No, again? I just, you know what? It's for whatever reason, it stuck with me, and like you, the music scares me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just remember that. Yeah, season 5, episode 16. Canadian UFO identified in Carp.
Oh, I googled it. It was in Long Island.
What?
The woman caught smoking.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah, I'm like,
that's way off.
That took a turn.
Previously, just gonna cut up this whole last half hour.
So wait, what did we say? We both said false on that one, right?
I don't remember the question.
It was the smoking weed. Got caught smoking weed for weed possession.
That's right. I think we both
because you didn't believe it was going to be Florida again.
That's right.
Yeah.
Or that all could be wrong. I don't remember anything either. It's been so long ago.
Maybe it was a UFO.
Maybe it was UFO.
Oh, okay. It's late. Let's wrap it up there. All right. Steve,
play the wrap it up music.
I don't know. Do I have anything? We'll use this.
Works.
All right. I feel like I want to sell something like some hydroponics equipment or something. So much ad music you play at the beginning of the show. All right. So from Steve, from Vishal, Cory, everybody, we're on you. Keep it casual.
See you.